Let's make this year's Mother's Day the easiest, most stress-free, easy breezy one yet. And take the guesswork out of what to use as your feature design. I'm going to show you my formula for streamlining your designs so that you can optimize your wholesale buy. And I'm going to talk you through my favorite shortcut for your orders so that you know that you're making money with every single bouquet that you design. And Mother's Day is totally one of those, how much pressure can we put on our creativity and on our business and on our systems and processes in 1 week? But making a few small changes is going to literally cut your stress level in half and make sure that you come out the other side of Mother's Day with money left in the bank, energized in your business, and feeling like you've cracked the code in terms of what a successful Mother's Day looks like. And enjoy the process, showering your customers with beautiful flowers, celebrating the joy that actually is Mother's Day, and feeling really freaking proud of yourself for having made it happen. And I absolutely learned this part the hard way. I mean, let's be honest, I learned so much around how to make money as a florist the totally ass backward way. So first things first, one of the easiest ways to not make money at Mother's Day is to overinvest in flowers and wholesale product in the lead up to the big day. For me, that happened because I had no plan. And I know everybody else is out there trying to like sell you software or giving you some all singing, all dancing solution. And I'm like, that just didn't work for me. It wasn't the way that my brain operates. It's not the way that I think. And I'm sure that there's some other florist out there that's like, yeah, me too. Kathleen, give me a super simple structure that I can follow so that I know every order I'm making, every bouquet that I'm designing, what I'm placing, like the actual order that I'm placing with my wholesalers is going to ensure that I can maximize my profitability. And you've heard me say it before, and I will continually repeat myself, that simplicity is the secret to your success. The more convoluted and hard we make things for ourselves, the more it's going to erode our energy, eat into our profitability, and suck the soul out of your creativity. So in my super simple approach to conquering Mother's Day, the first thing I will look at is with every single one of my designs, every single arrangement or bouquet that you're putting up on your website, every design that you're creating in your shop, if you're doing a pop-up, like whatever your like shop experience looks like, whether that's online or in person, every single design that we make follows that 7-ingredient formula. So if you're brand new here, every bouquet, every design is going to have 7 ingredients, no more, no less. For me, and again, this is my language, so feel free to borrow it or adjust it, edit it as you like, but I like to divide those ingredients into 2 very broad categories. So I have a collection of ingredients that are going to be considered focal flowers and a collection of ingredients that I consider filler. Now, I did go to flower school. I have my formal floristry qualifications. I do know that many other designers refer to things with much more sophisticated names. But when I tell you that I'm the queen of simplicity, this whole divide your different flowers and foliages into just one of 2 categories, I found this so much easier for myself, so much easier to manage the wholesale buy, and so much easier to help train other people in order to make this happen. So I don't necessarily divide things into line flowers, disc flowers, satellite flowers, focal flowers, filler ingredients, foliages. Like there are so many different labels and languages. So in this, like, how simple can we make it? Okay, things fall into a category called filler ingredients, or they're focal ingredients. Said a slightly different way, does it draw your eye in? Is it really like taking up a lot of visual real estate? Or is it just kind of creating some shape and rhythm and texture and visual interest and complementary colors and all the other things? So in this particular design, my 7 ingredients are pyrus, azaleas, daffodils, spray roses, hyacinths, roses, and carnations. So if we divide these into those 2 categories, then my focal ingredients in this design are the roses, carnations, and spray roses. And the filler ingredients are hyacinths, azalea, pyrus, daffodils. Now, the reason I like to think this way is because then it really helps simplify the entire design process so that when you're planning every single one of your designs, you know, okay, 7 ingredients, 3 of those ingredients are going to be focals, 4 of them are going to be fillers. And as you start to move through the designs, as you start to run out of flowers, when you're getting into the actual production, you don't have to be so strict on the fact that every design that goes out the door needs to be so cookie cutter. But if you know, okay, well, now we've run out of roses, roses, so we're gonna switch it out for ranunculus or lisianthus or dahlias or anemones, like something else that you've already got in your studio or in your shop, and you just swap to the next focal ingredient. This is such a smart strategy in terms of helping you optimize the use of every single ingredient in your cooler, which is going to be such a smart way for you to make sure you're maximizing your profitability. So one thing that is super helpful is make a list for yourself of the flowers that are in season at Mother's Day. So you can look back at your past wholesale list, you can jump on Google, ChatGPT, look at what's in the inventory for your wholesaler, and then make a list of your absolute favorite ingredients and divide them into those two categories. So you'll have your list of ingredients that you can consider your focal flowers that are in season in your area around Mother's Day. Then you're also going to have your list of filler ingredients from your wholesalers and growers that are your favorites that are in season in your area. And be sure to save this document somewhere because it'll become really handy for next year's Mother's Day, because then you'll remember exactly what's in season and exactly what you can order from the wholesalers without even having to think about it. The second thing that you can do ahead of time, and now is the perfect time to do this, is to think through what your Mother's Day catalog is going to be. And I say catalog in quotes because I do mean that very loosely. And I know if you've ever worked with the wire services, or if you've ever worked in a shop where it was a very like relay service, wire service driven production house, the term catalog can be very almost triggering. But I use the word catalog very lightly because that's going to actually be like getting your catalog set up on your website is going to be the fastest way that you can maximize your profitability, because the good customers are online and the good customers want to be able to order flowers online. But more than that is it's the thing that's going to help you streamline your sales process. So instead of feeling like you need to custom create and custom design everything at Mother's Day, I highly recommend that you get every single one of your customers, or as many as possible, of your clients and customers to order through your website, because that gets your customer doing all the admin work around the sale, and then you can free up your time for more important tasks in your business. So as you're setting up your online catalog, set it up with 6 designs and make sure that the midpoint of those designs, so like the average of your 6 products, is going to be around that $250 mark, which means if you've got 6 designs in your online catalog and your middle product is going to be listed at $200 to $250, the first thing you can do is actually design that middle product. So I'll pop the stem count of this particular design up on the screen. Feel free to screenshot it, take it, make it your own. But so that you know kind of what your average online, what you're aiming for with that middle product, this design is a good place to begin. Now, the reason I love that kind of 7 ingredient shortcut, knowing that every single design you're going to create has 7 ingredients in it, is then when it comes to planning out the other designs in your online catalog, you could actually take a very similar formula of these 7 ingredients and just literally cut the stem count in half. And then you can go back and look at your list of favorites, swap out roses for ranunculus and swap out carnations for lisianthus, change the colors in the flowers that you're going to use, and it's going to look like a completely different design. Even though you've still used that 7 ingredient shortcut, even though you're not necessarily changing out every ingredient in the design, it creates such a simple framework to help you bust through the overwhelm and confusion and feeling like you have to stare at the blank page every single time you're designing. You can then do the same thing with 2/3 of the stem count, make a couple of other swaps in the design, change the color palette, and it's going to look like a whole different product altogether. And all of a sudden you've just done half of your online catalog. And you've also created a stem count or a recipe for yourself for every single one of those designs, which truly takes so much of the guesswork out of figuring out how much product to buy, what you're going to sell at Mother's Day, and how to manage your profitability. And the third piece of this puzzle that for me had like a radical impact on how stress-free Mother's Day was, maximizing our profitability, ensuring that every single design that leaves your workbench, whether you're creating it or one of your team members is creating it, meets your expectations. This was the thing that changed the game for me. Instead of feeling like you need to order one bunch of 100 different ingredients, cut your wholesale order down to as few ingredients as you could possibly imagine. And I want you to be really constrained trained with this. And when I say cut it down to as few ingredients as possible, even if you decided to place an order with your wholesaler and it only included roses, carnations, hyacinths, tulips, daffodils, stock, mums, spray mums, 2 or 3 different kinds of foliages, lilies, alstroemeria, and maybe like 1 or 2 other things. But where you ended up putting your energy and effort was thinking about specific color combinations, going deep on the colors that you order versus the variety of flowers that you order. Because when you follow that 7 ingredient framework, then you know, okay, if somebody has placed an order on your website, but they've put in the order notes, you know, she loves yellow, that you can take the recipe that you have and swap out the roses for yellow roses, or swap out the carnations for yellow carnations, swap out the stock for yellow stock, but you're not going out there and like ordering a totally separate ingredient that you're never going to use in any other design. So this idea of, instead of going wide with the number of flowers you order, go deep on the colors of flowers that you order. And now I know you're going to be like, but Kathleen, that's so boring. It's like, I promise you it's actually not, because the game of figuring out how to use that one stem of bright purple stock in a design so that you can maximize your product usage, that's the game of the high profit florist. And that game is going to push your creativity. It's going to push your design skills. It's going to truly show you just how many different interesting designs you can create without feeling like you need to order one of every bunch of everything that your wholesaler has. So I'll pop up on the screen here just a picture of like the original wholesale order that I used to put in and what the wholesale order looked like in the last couple of years, because it's so different. Like when I tell you to simplify, that's what I mean. Like truly, truly simplify. And this is one of those work smarter, not harder strategies that you're going to like blow your mind with your profitability when you go to pay all your invoices and you reconcile your accounts and you're like, wait a minute, it totally worked. Because the goal at the end of your Mother's Day is to make sure that you've fulfilled your creativity, you've met your revenue target, but you also haven't completely stressed yourself out and been totally frazzled through every step of the process. And it all starts, like, go back to the beginning of creating that list of your favorite focal ingredients, your favorite filler ingredients, and then simplify it from there. Set up your online catalog with that 7 ingredient framework. Chop and change through colors, but don't feel like you need to be so creative and so out there in terms of all the different ingredients that you're going to use. And then when you're really like at that point of putting in your wholesale order, I want you to simplify it as much as you possibly can. Instead of going really wide and ordering one of everything, go really narrow with the flowers that you're ordering, but go deep on the colors that you're ordering, because that's going to give you the variety that you need to appeal to all the different customer requests, all the subtle, you know, she loves pink or a touch of blue or make it all white, or she loves sunset tones, whatever those special requests are that you have from your clients. But it also just makes your creative process so much simpler. And that's what's going to make it fun. The other thing to remember, that you sit down and you spend a few hours putting together this project plan this year, this becomes your Mother's Day operations guide every year from now till the end of time. That's what's so good about this formula. So please take it, run with it, make it work in your business, because it's been such a game changer for me in terms of actually enjoying the design and the wholesale ordering and the planning process. And if you enjoyed this video, you might also like this video where I walk you through my step-by-step guide to taking photos for your online catalog, including the lighting, the setup, a few true like pro photography tips that I've just learned along the way, so that you can elevate your website, increase your average order value, and make more money doing the work that you love. And as always, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.